Right, what I'm asking you now, just a basic question. What was the best pro boxing fight then that you ever watched?
Best pro boxing fight? It's a very good question. Very good question. So the first ever boxing fight I watched wasn't the best, but it's the one that got me passionate about boxing. Was actually Bernard Hopkins v Jermaine Taylor 1. And this is how you know I'm very much a boxing fan, because most boxing, if anyone would have watched that fight as their first professional or the first fight they've watched, they probably never would have watched boxing again, because it wasn't the most entertaining. But I just really appreciated what was going on in there. Bernard Hopkins is very much a shrewd operator when it comes to boxing. So that was the first boxing fight I watched and got me into boxing. My favourite would be either Mayweather Hatton or Mayweather Cotto. Hatton always brought it. Very much.
Hatton nearly did it on that fight.
He did very well. I just remember I was about 15 years old, maybe a little bit younger. Had all my friends around my house. We had like a little sleepover and was watching it. And it was just such an entertaining fight because Hatton actually brought it to Mayweather, similar to how Cotto brought it to Mayweather. Yeah. And then you appreciate the skill level of Mayweather himself. So they would be the two fights growing up in which really got me into boxing and really facilitated like sort of my interest in the sport. Of more recent, the Canelo Golovkin fights. I just really appreciate what they do in the ring. I'm a very much a big Canelo fan, as well as Caleb Plant. Really much like how those two move in the ring, how they box. And so I pretty much tune into every Canelo fight.
Right. So, talking about back to yourself then, what's your boxing ambitions?
I mean, I want to go all the way. My outlook is shoot for the moon, and if you fall you can catch some stars. So that's pretty much what I'm doing. I wanna go for the world title, and I juvenilely say to my friends and to my fellow teammates, like, I want the Canelo fight. I want to be fighting Canelo one day. And there's a juvenile element to that because it's very far-fetched, but I have to believe it. I have to believe it, because if I don't believe it, then it's never going to be possible. Confucius says those who say they can and those who say they can't are both probably right. So if I say I can, I give myself the chance to achieve, and it's possible. It's possible.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that say about boxers, especially boxers like yourself, that do aim high, that there's that they're arrogant boxers. And I think basically there needs to be, if you're going to go to the top, there needs to be an element of arrogance in there, because you've got to believe in yourself to get there.
No, I agree. In many sense, like Paulie Malignaggi is a great speaker, and he's very much.
He can speak.
Yeah, he can speak, but he's very knowledgeable on what he says. And you have to understand your limitations as a fighter as well. Yeah. So there's no point me believing that I'm a Gennady Golovkin, Mike Tyson type puncher. I have to understand my restraints in order to develop as a boxer. I have to understand what I'm good at and I'm restricted in, what I'm limited in order to improve. So I know those areas, and I'm constantly evolving and learning myself as a fighter, learning when I've had a bad session, when I've got punched up in sparring, when I've handed out beatings in sparring. Okay, that doesn't, just because I may have got the better of someone in sparring, that doesn't necessarily define me as a world level boxer. That they could have had an off day, but what I can take from that is that's what I do well, and that's what I need to implement into to the spars that don't go my way, and the spars that pretty much I get turned upside down and slapped out of the ring. And those days do happen. I'm not ignorant to that. I'm never arrogant enough to say that doesn't happen to me. It pretty much does. But what I always take confidence in is that I know I can bounce back, and I know I can understand my restrictions and restraints, and I can take the shackles off them and get better.
I think as well as that is when you have days like that, it's all part of the learning experience.
Yeah, I agree.
That's
I agree.
where it comes from.
Rome wasn't built in a day.
That's right.
It wasn't built in a day, and there was many.
I think that's a great attitude to have, to be honest.
Exactly, and I think, and I very much preach that to any young kid that comes into the gym that has a bad day, has an off day, feeling tired. Just get through it. Like you and bounce back. Just come in with a positive attitude. Like it wasn't your day today, but you're gonna have your day, and that's the attitude I take in all of life, in every aspect of life. It's pretty much a never give up attitude, and if you have that again, and you're shooting for the moon, like you'll fall and get some stars.
Yeah.